Thanks.
He should be burned with Leila.
Look what.
Oh,
Look,
Danny.
Actually, I
like
think Gus was referring.
No, I was referred to not being fooled
Okay.
by Cam.
All right.
no,
There we go.
Cam's just a snake in the grass.
No, but seriously
he
though.
wasn't talking about Cam. He wasn't talking about Cam either. He was talking about he was talking about the general defenses of Leila in the conversation. Right? He preemptively said that. I don't know why he did. I agree with him that I think that we've exhausted this shit and it should move on. And so you guys to jump on Gus's fucking back for that after we've literally exhausted this conversation.
Well, look, both Gus and Michael. I mean, you're both good friends of mine, and I don't want. They would be stupid if like my disagreement with you over this now that you know would cause you two to somehow think that I'm completely against you 100%. So I don't want that to be the case. This is to me this. It's just that. I'm flabbergasted by it, to be honest.
Because I'm.
Well, the reason why I was trying to propose something concrete is because personally, I actually don't like it when Lee calls Leila a vampire every single time she says anything. But I also love Molly, so I don't really like.
Sounds like a you.
But the thing is that I've talked about this before, right? Molly has this issue in a completely different context with Squishy, right? Don't fucking point your guns at Molly if you don't want to escalate the situation, right? Molly's just gonna fucking hit the fucking next number on the elevator, on the elevator button to fucking escalate. And she does it because that's just what folks like her and I did, right? If you come after me or you come after her, you better be prepared. You better have a 5-point restraint, sit your ass down, and be prepared for the ride. And
I've made that clear. I have made that clear.
Leila has stated openly that she enjoys winding Molly up, right? Leila has stated over and over again that the purpose of her behavior is to fucking throw the switch on the rails of the conversation, right?
Okay, Michael, but that's why
for her
I'm proposing
entertainment.
that maybe.
I think that was admitted after she thought like Molly.
I have okay.
No,
I'm not. I don't want to.
before.
Look. I don't want to talk too much, but you guys have been talking for a while. I just want to state, I have multiple times said that I avoid Molly. Like I would never want to wind her up any more than she's already wound up because it impedes on all the conversations that I ever take part in the server. Like every time I mic up, she calls me a cunt or calls me a vampire.
I have not used
Why?
the B word in such a long time.
Calm down,
Why do you think that is?
So it would just be absurd to say that I want to wind Molly up more. I want to do actively the opposite. I have called for 2 truces with Molly, 2 separate truces with Molly. That Molly has accepted, and then a couple days later, she just starts insulting me again. And so don't tell me I'm trying to wind Molly up. That's just a bull-faced lie. And Molly can confirm that I've approached her twice to make a truce that she has accepted.
Yeah, well.
So don't give me that garbage. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Keep on bitching about me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and you're going to deny that you have admitted and laughed about it in voice chat about winding Molly up. So
maybe like back in the Krillism days before Molly was like crazy or something, but definitely not recently. I would never want to. And if I said that, I said it facetiously because I would never want to wind Molly up. In fact, when Molly says that she's muted me, I pray that she has muted me because then that means that she won't comment on every single word that I'm saying, calling me a bitch, calling me a vampire, warning other people not to talk to me. The thing you're accusing me of telling people not to talk to other people, Molly does that to almost every single person that I interact with. She says,
wonder what garnered
don't talk to the vampire, watch out, avoid the vampire, watch out, do not talk. Avoid her now, it's all going to be terrible, right? So the thing that you're so upset and raged at me for doing a couple times,
Molly
does to me every single time that I mic.
I wonder what the genesis of that behavior is, because if that's the case, then
I have
there
asked
would be a
Molly
cause for it.
multiple times.
Oh,
Hey Molly,
come
why
on,
are you
dude.
so pissed? You used to be friendly, and then all of a
I thought you
sudden,
weren't going to
and then
talk
all
for
of
a
a
long
sudden,
time.
you are so upset at me, and I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if
wonder
if
why.
there
I
was
wonder
something
why she would
specifically
suddenly
that I
do
did
that.
to offend you. I apologize, and I have asked for
Oh
multiple.
my gosh.
So
This
Molly's
is the
saying that
best
she's like
victim card
explained
I've
in
seen
depth
all week.
that she's explained in depth why she's mad at me. That's not true. She has never said that to me. All she's ever said is, "You're a bitch. I don't like you." But there's tons of people that I don't like in this server, and I don't every single time they mic up. I don't say,
No,
"Oh,
you
you're a
start
bitch. Don't
trouble with
interact
another.
with this person. Don't interact with
Start
this
trouble
person. They're a
other.
vampire. They're a
Close
cunt. They're a
enough.
bitch." Blah blah blah. I don't do
start
that.
trouble
Close
another.
enough.
I would definitely ban Gus from the server. Ban Gus. Can we keep Wolf King and get rid
That's
of
probably a
Gus?
bad idea for me to mic up because it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it probably was a bad idea for you to mic up.
Yeah,
I think you ought probably stay quiet, because nothing you're gonna nothing. Look, I'm just gonna tell you, Leila. If I'm in the server, you get
Michael's
no
another
quarter.
person. Michael's another person where he just okay. This is what happened. He insulted my husband. Okay, this is the sequence of events before Michael got super pissed at me. And you guys take it for what you will. I don't know. I don't know if this is what caused it or whatever, or if it was because Molly was mad at me or whatever. Okay, this is a sequence of events. Michael insults my husband and like my family, right? The next day, apologize. I was like, okay, it's whatever. And then after that, either the next day or the day after that, he says that I'm like going to abuse patients, like, career, right? And I'm like, yo, Michael, like that's why I blocked you. Like, don't say that kind of stuff, please.
Oh my
After that, a couple days after that, Michael starts freaking out at me. Like literally.
Hey, I gotta interrupt. Tom, that Josh R guy. That's the guy that fucked the server.
Yeah.
What?
Sorry, continue.
So I specifically said, hey, please don't do that. Please don't talk about that. And whatever. So Michael decided not to apologize, and instead of like so I block him because look, I'm not gonna be interacting with people who think that, who joke about that, who are going to, talk about that, because that's like something that I hold like very sacred. Is like not. I don't think it's funny to joke about abusing elderly. I don't think that's funny. Whatever. Anyway, so I block him, and then a couple days preceding that, Michael is like raging at me. Like he is so mad. He starts talking about how I never talk about my Christianity. He starts bringing up my husband, like being like, "Oh yeah, well if your husband deconverted, you would deconvert, right?" Which I never said, but whatever.
Oh my God!
I
You're
said the most
confusing
likely
me
thing.
for somebody else.
What I said was the most likely thing that would make me
lying right
leave Christianity
now.
would be like if my husband deconverted. But I'm not saying that
you're
if he
actually
did
confusing
deconvert,
me for
I would
somebody else right
deconvert.
now.
It was
All right,
just.
one at a time, guys.
It was just. Look, Michael's been confronting me about this, so I assume that he would want my answer because he's been confronting me about this every single time I mic up. So here's my answer, Michael. I said that the most likely thing for me to that would cause me to leave Christianity.
Okay,
That would cause me to leave Christianity would be if my husband thought that Christianity was false or whatever, because I really respect his opinion. And so if he had a really good reason for leaving Christianity, that would be probably one of the most likely things that would make me leave. But I'm not saying it's guaranteed that I would leave. It's just, look, I respect my husband's opinion. Big deal. Anyways,
insane.
so he's like attacking me, and now, and I still don't know what the transformation was, and what the reason that he gave me, the reason that he gave me from being friendly,
look, just one at a time. Just one
the
at a
reason he
time.
gave
You're
me
just
for
gonna let her
being.
run around and start fires.
Look, you guys have been attacking me for 2 hours. Are you for real?
Yeah, just wrap it up.
Okay, the
Just
reason
wrap it up,
that
Leila.
he gave me for attacking me, from switching to being like friendly to me, from switching to apologizing me for attacking my family, and then attacking my family after that and not apologizing, the reason he gave me was because he just got sick of my shit. That's all I've got. That's all I've gotten out of him. That he's just gotten sick of my shit.
Yeah.
That's all I know. So tell me if there's something else.
You let me know when you're done. You let me know when you're done. Everybody wants you to get it out, so you let me know when you're done, sweetheart.
I'm done. Sorry, I've just been attacked for the past 2 hours, and I speak up for 5 minutes, and you're upset. Okay, go ahead.
Michael, have you been drinking?
Well, you are confusing.
Michael, have you been drinking?
You are confusing me for somebody else when you talk about.
I heard Michael say he had a glass of wine.
You are confusing. You are confusing me for somebody else, Leila, when you say that there was a conversation between us about your. You guys got me distracted now. You're confusing me for somebody else in a conversation that you had about your reasons for like participating in conversations, and like when you say like that the only reason why you've gotten for my hostility is because I'm sick of your shit. That's false. Because I've told you.
That's the reason that
I've told you
gave
before.
me. So if
I've
there's
told you
something
before.
else, please let
No.
Michael finish. Let Michael finish.
Look, you've derailed conversations that I've been trying to participate in with other people. Right?
What
the same
conversations have
complaint
I
that Kim
derailed?
has. But you want me to like pull up like the specific
If you're talking
people,
about the
times,
abortion
dates,
conversation that I
timestamps?
participated in, I wouldn't call that derailing. I was
That's
arguing
one
for the
example.
other side, so what? That's not
you just call
derailing.
it something else. It's just like an analytic point.
Are you talking
You're
about the
just gonna call it something
circumcision
else.
conversation that I defended?
Yes. Oh, there's another great example. The circumcision
You're just talking
conversation
about
that you totally
positions that I've
misrepresented.
defended that are opposite to your position. That's not derailing. That's talking about the topic at hand, but arguing from the other side.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be just derailing then, would be the complaint. It's just that you're like, you just don't allow these conversations to happen because you're invested. You're just like yipping from the sidelines. You're
If I'm
like making
arguing
noise
from
from
the
the
other
sidelines.
side and
Okay, I
defending
guess
the
you
other
don't want to hear
side,
my
that's
answer.
participating in
bud.
the argument. So I don't know
Right.
what
You
you're
let
talking
me know
about
when you're done,
derailing.
sweetheart. You let me know when you're done.
I'm addressing you saying that I'm derailing your conversation.
Oh, okay.
Because the conversation that
You
I
let me know
remember
when I can speak. You let me know when I can speak.
It sounds like Leila's trying to say that participating can't be derailed, but I think most people in here would disagree.
I just wish we all could be friends.
I don't even understand. I don't understand. Like I've been listening to all the grievances. I don't understand why so much hate is coming from. I don't need that. Galaxy.
Oh my god. Like every time I mic up calling me a vampire.
I haven't called you the
telling
C word
people-
in so long, so shut
Every time she mics up.
Telling people,
Look,
telling
Leila,
people
I
to
promise
avoid
you.
talking to me
Look,
because I'm a vampire and
look,
they'll regret talking to me
Oh, wait.
every single time
Wait.
I talk to someone.
You do the same thing
You're
to
telling me
Cam.
that's because
you do the same thing to
you
other
just don't
atheists.
like me?
Well, wait, hang on just a second. You do this to atheists in our server, sweetheart. That's what you do.
What are you talking about?
Well, personally,
you
Michael,
preempt conversation with like if we talk to Christians or theists, you say don't talk to these people. They're like heathens or they're like degenerates or they're people who don't believe in God. Don't do it. It's a trap or whatever. When we're like trying to talk to people, have conversations. Now, if we're just like conversations or we're just like comments or like snowballs from the sideline, I'd be okay with that. But you actively try to derail those conversations. I've asked
I
you
wouldn't
before
say derail, but
to stop doing that.
I have prefaced
Oh my
conversations.
God.
I have prefaced conversations between atheists and new Christians coming in here in a protective way of Christian. So yeah, I have done that.
So let's talk about.
I'm just saying, like when Molly does that to me every single time I mic up, I'm not responding to her by calling her like a cunt, a bitch, a vampire to
Let's
stay
talk
away
about
from.
that.
You know what
Let's
I mean?
talk about that.
Like that's
let's talk
what
about-
I'm like. Hey,
Let's
like,
talk about
chill.
that. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about calling each other cunts and vampires and stuff like that. You have my word that from me, I'm not going to call you names. But I'm going to actively.
You have multiple times called me a bitch, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh no.
I feel really bad personally
absolutely.
about all this dumb bitch.
Can I finish my point?
I really do.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I think he
can we
means
move
going forward.
Yeah. So moving forward, I'm not going to call you names. I'm not going to go after you in that way. But if you enter a conversation, you need to be prepared to respond to it. Otherwise, I'm going to sit you down and embarrass you, right? If you want to talk about a specific topic, you need to enter the conversation. You don't just get to yip from the sidelines, right? And you don't get to take. You don't wait. You don't wait. You know, no. I'm not done. You don't get to just sit there from the sidelines and say shit without committing to the conversation, and then later accuse me of coming after you. No, that doesn't work like that, sweetheart.
Well,
and for me,
what you're saying about
Leila,
prefacing the conversation. No, Cam, please let me respond. Look, I understand what Cam is saying. I understand what Michael is saying about prefacing conversations in between atheists and Christians by warning them that, like, hey, look, they're not really, they don't have, like, the best intentions. That's because I have sympathies, obviously, towards other Christians and stuff like that.
But that's the part that upset me, Leila, because like you've said on multiple occasions, you've ascribed intent to me that I didn't actually have. And because of your high status in the community, you put me in a position where I didn't have the ability to defend myself, or I struggled to.
I have high status
And
in
the
the community.
Let him finish,
the intent the intent that you ascribe to me is not true. I've been friends with Christians in my life for many years.
Yeah, you may as well be calling him a dumb cunt.
And it made me feel like you were saying that I was a liar to these people who were entering the community. And I didn't appreciate it, but I felt like I didn't have the ability to air that grievance.
To be honest, Cam, I felt like I was saying it in jest, and I didn't realize you were taking it, like, seriously. But I apologize if you really did feel insulted by.
Well, here's what I appreciated.
Well, I think the other part of the issue,
Sorry,
Leila,
Thomas,
is just really quick.
Just one thing. What I did appreciate, though, Leila, is that when you kept on calling me a street epistemologist and you kept on saying that, like, oh, I'm just interested in deconverting them and et cetera, I did appreciate that when I argued with you on that point, that you at least did seem to stop the behavior. And I think that that's awesome. So I thank you for that.
I think, like, I teased a lot with the, like, Christianity stuff, and, like, I feel like I'm joking, and I feel like other people are taking it as a joke, but I know, like, now I'm realizing that people are taking me seriously, and I get what you're saying, like, it could ruin a potential conversation with a Christian and, like, getting them to question their beliefs and stuff like that. I get that. So I'll try not to do that. But I just feel like protecting them because I don't like seeing Christians, like, attacked like that.
Lily, you gotta remember,
understand that.
These people are very sensitive, right? And
there's one thing I want to say real quick, Cam. There was one instance where Leila, I can't speak for every instance, obviously, but there was one instance. I think I spoke up and said that I disagree with Leila and that that you're trying to be honest and blah blah. I don't know if you remember that, but during that time, Leila did joke. Like, I thought she was mostly kidding, but I still thought I wanted to speak up because I thought that the person could have got the wrong idea, right? But I did think Leila was kidding at the time.
Right, and that's possible as well.
I just
that
feel
I've
like there's a lot of
misinterpreted
tension
behavior.
between someone who's a Christian and a mostly atheist server. So when I can, like, joke and stuff like that and release some of that tension, I don't know. Not that I think there's always tension, but I don't know. It's hard to explain. But I'll try to be more aware of, like, getting in the way of those conversations with atheists or with Christians and you guys.
Yeah,
well,
I want to the life out of them.
Michael, this drama between you and Leila, this has nothing to do with your love for Molly, right?
What the fuck?
No, not at all. Why would you imply that?
I just noticed
What's
that
the difference?
Yeah, historically, when anybody picks on Molly, you jump on them like a banshee, like super white knight.
So I will jump into a conversation if I think that Molly and I both share issues with post-traumatic stress disorder. And so there are conversations that I will intervene in if I think that Molly is in danger of having episodic behaviors as a result of those conversations.
He's also called me
doesn't-
out on shit in DMs.
It doesn't mean Molly and I disagree about almost everything, politically, ideologically, etc. But I'm not like committed hiding behind a castle, in principle defending Molly.
It just
No, and
Molly.
Michael has sent me
and
Michael has sent me DMs telling me, "Hey, Molly, you need to turn down and whatnot." So he does wheel me in and will call me out on shit. So he's not. That's quite silly. And I could say the same about all times that I've had a go.
It's not incompatible with what Krill was.
I guess I just can't finish a fucking sentence. You go on then. Carry on, please.
it just seems like Michael's like lashing out at me is incongruent with like his other beliefs about Molly or whatever. And Molly, I think maybe that is Michael's grievances, and that's like what's fueled this much vitriol towards me. Maybe that's true. I don't think that like Molly has never said that to me. The only thing that I'm aware of that Molly's upset at me about that's fueling the vitriol towards me is her just not liking me and thinking I'm a, and that's why she's ruining all the conversation.
Wow. See, that's really interesting that you say that you think that, okay, that it comes down to that, because it's just amazing. Because, you are the only person that I've had such issues with. And I have talked to you.
I have
Not long standing like this, Leila.
You have argued with Godless for a long time, hold on, Michael. Can I talk to Molly now?
Gigi and I are fine right now, so why are you bringing her up?
I'm just
Gigi
saying
and no. Why are you bringing up? Gigi and I've had our issues with that, and I've also known Gigi for years. I have known Gigi for years, and she and I have had our ins and outs. I'm fine with Gigi right now, so don't bring her up. We're talking about you and I.
You're just saying that
correct?
you've never had a long-standing
not like this.
Like, sniping
no, not like this. No. Not like this.
Long.
No,
okay.
no, I have not
Molly,
had as much
please,
disdain for a person that I've
Molly,
had for you.
Like, just calm down. Like, it's happened with Gigi. It's happened with Sugar. It's happened, like, you've talked like this towards Fade. You've talked
Yuri,
like this
it used to be Yuri.
John Jones.
Sorry, Yuri.
Thomas.
Yuri, yeah, Mark Thomas, John, Shar, like, you just randomly grab on. Shar came to me and was like, I don't know.
Wait a minute.
Molly's
Look,
so
I could
blah.
just list people that you disagree with, and it would have the same effect. What's the point?
I'm not talking about a disagreement. I'm talking about
white knight.
I'm talking about sniping from the sidelines every time a person speaks, or commenting about, or telling them to shut up in chat.
Oh, this is
stuff
rich.
like that. That's what I'm talking
Coming
about.
from you, this is rich.
So we're all gonna just go forward loving each other from now on, and no more like sniping at each other. We're just gonna all.
I doubt that's gonna happen.
We're gonna be
I have
friends.
called for 2 separate truces with Molly.
We're gonna hug each other. We're gonna drink beer with each other. We're all gonna love each other. We're gonna ignore what Leila said as well. We're just gonna go on for the future. Just live our lives, loving each other. Right?
Let's focus on more realistic. Buddy.
Okay, Molly, would you accept a truce in which we don't snipe at each other when another person speaks in chat?
Don't fall into that.
I love you.
Michael, why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want that truce where
Leila, I have you. The only time I have you turned up is now. I have you turned down to like 1%. I've had you turned down since pretty much you come back to the server. As a matter of fact, when you came back to the server, shut up! I stop talking.
It doesn't make any sense because as soon as she says anything, you immediately call her dumb.
No, it's when she says shit in side chat. Yeah. How many times have I said to you?
No, but I talk in voice in the comment.
Oh, okay. You know what? Just no. I don't want to choose you. I don't
wish
want
you
anything to
did
do with
have
you.
me
I
turned
wish
down.
you.
That would make my life easier because you wouldn't interrupt my conversations and you wouldn't snipe at me in side chat. And you wouldn't warn people away from me and you wouldn't warn people in DMs. I've had people come to me.
Oh, I will, and I will. I absolutely
Molly is like telling me in DMs not to talk to you. Like, what's going on?
Absolutely, you shouldn't talk to. And the way you talk to new people, it's just
So
really
I'm
cringe.
just
You ask
saying,
them
like,
personal questions. Here we go. You're gonna keep talking. Yeah, I do tell new people when they come in, and I know when you ask them fucking personal questions, are you gay or are you this and that? And I think, what the fuck? Who are you to ask? And these are questions that you would be absolutely offended by if they were asked by you. No, I did no. See, fucking turning it around.
You said you would diagnose Rise with anorexia.
That's not what I.
But the thing is, if
but
you
you're
can't,
don't give me
you
that
can't
crap.
moralize. You can't moralize if you're participating in the same fucking activity, Leila.
I'm not moralizing. I'm pointing that Molly obviously doesn't have a problem with that conversation.
Moralizing against
with that
this
content of conversation because she engages in that exact behavior.
Yeah, well, we're talking about you now, right? You can't moralize and engage
I'm not
in that same
moralizing.
kind of
I'm not moralizing. Do you
You
understand?
just pointing out
all the fucking time about
I'm pointing out the hypocrisy that Molly's talking about.
I'm pointing out
Michael,
your
can I talk to
your
Molly
hypocrisy.
and not have her bodyguard talk to me, please?
Yeah, because you don't want to talk. You don't want to talk to me about it because you know that I'll point out.
It's just like it's enough trying to talk to Molly with Molly like interrupting and stuff like that
shouting
without
over
having
her?
another person talk in the conversation.
Just
All
let
I
her
want
get
to
a fucking
establish
sentence
here
in.
is a truce with Molly in which
I'm
she
willing
doesn't
to allow
pipe
this
up every
conversation
time
to
I talk.
happen if you will stop.
Michael, please.
Look, then you two can have this conversation, but just it be between you two, right?
I
And
have tried
you allow
that,
her to
Michael.
finish.
I have tried two
No,
truces
you allow
in
her to
private, in DMs. In DMs, I have tried two separate truces, and it obviously does not work. It obviously does not work
funny
because
because you're
Molly
talking
ends
about
up
Molly.
coming back and insulting
because
me
I can.
and
It's funny
interrupting
too,
my conversation.
Molly. It's funny because I
Michael,
can talk
please,
to you
what the
about
heck?
like correcting
Like,
your
why?
behavior, and then you'll be committed. You'll say like, look, I will do this. I will not go after Squishy, or I will not go after Leila, or whatever the case is, and you'll make an attempt to correct behavior that you have otherwise. That's funny because it seems like
the
when I
truces
talk
that
to
have
you
been in
and I
between Molly and I.
that
Okay,
seems
let me
to work.
respond.
But
Please let me
it seems to
respond,
be
Michael.
it might just be the way that
Can
Leila
someone
is coming
moderate
at
him?
you, especially when
Like, this is supposed to
she
be
does it
Molly
to
and I,
public.
like, trying to not have garbage in between us. And Michael's, like, wanting it to continue. He's
You go ahead,
actively
sweetheart.
telling
Molly,
her
your
to
mic's-
deny a truth.
You go ahead, sweetheart.
Okay, the truths that I've had in the past with Molly was just like, hey, I'm not gonna argue with you. You just don't like interrupt me and insult me, and that's it. Like, those are the truths. I'll avoid you. You avoid me. Like, just don't interrupt my conversations. Don't DM people telling them not to talk to me. You know, those are
I've
the
never
truths.
DM people
And
to.
Molly
I told them in voice. Oh,
You've
inside
told
chat.
them in voice not to talk to me. You've told them in side chat not to talk to me. You've DM'd them not to talk to me because I've gotten DMs from people saying this.
Oh,
Molly
I did
chick,
DM. I did. Yeah, I did that one
this
person.
Molly
I said,
chick is
"Don't talk."
telling me not to
No,
talk to you.
because and I do remember what I said. I said, just so you know, that any information that you give her, she's gonna fucking it'll be out there. No, and let me tell you, as far as, and I am going to comment on Rise. What I said to Rise is because I was listening to a conversation, her talking about I think I'm skinny, but I like it, and then I won't like it. She posted a pic. I walked back up to it. I saw the pic and was absolutely fucking shut up.
I don't know why you think you can.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, go on. You would diagnose her with anorexia. We know the story.
Okay, now you know. Fuck you. I'm done with you, you stupid monkey.
Why would you do that? I mean, like she was just in the middle of a point. Like, why would you
I
do
just
that?
don't know why it's about Rise.
If not to frustrate her efforts to like explain herself. You want to have a conversation with her? I appreciate the behavior.
Michael, you're
you
so
proving
like
otherwise.
you're so biased. You can't see
No,
both
it's
sides of the argument at all.
it's funny to me because you just
That's happening on both sides, Michael.
Yeah, that might be right, but what you can do is allow her to finish her point, Leila.
They both interrupt each other, though, right? But one is getting like extremely heated about it and refusing to have the conversation because she's being interrupted, right, Michael? Like, I get it's annoying.
Yeah, because I brought up, which is stupid that she says, well, I don't know why she brought up Rise.
She's
because she did. Because she did. She brought Rise up. I was responding to what she was saying. So then when she turns around and goes, I don't know why she's bringing up Rise. What the fuck? Am I the only one that heard her first mention her and bring her up in conversation? And then I wanted to respond to it? Are you fucking joking?
Just let her respond. Right?
It's absolutely just amazing. It fucking boggles the imagination.
Look, Molly, can we
just let her respond?
Have a truce and not like snipe at each other, not tell people not to talk to each other, just like ignore each other? Can we do that? Can we just ignore each other? Like, why wouldn't you prefer just ignoring me, not sniping at me? Why do you feel the need to snipe at me in side chat, tell people not to talk to me in main chat, tell people in DMs not to talk to me, call me a bitch, call me a cunt, insult my family, insult my husband?
Insult your family? Are you fucking joking? The only person I insult is you.
That's not true.
So you know what? Just stop, okay? Stop. You wanted to end, then end. Stop talking right now. Let it be done. Yeah? Stop talking.
So you're accepting
Okay,
a truth?
me too.
Shut the fuck up, sugar.
So you're accepting a truth, Molly?
I'm not accepting anything from you. Just shut up.
Like, so many times I've tried to have a truce with Molly, and she wants to dislike me. She wants to snipe at me. She wants to hate me. Like, it's like...
This is just wild.
You don't think that, Michael?
Why are you talking to us?
You don't think...
Why are you
talking? You don't think that?
Why are you talking to us and not her?
You're the one commenting.
Yeah, because you're talking to the audience. Why don't you stop performing and actually talk to your interlocutor?
I tried. She doesn't want to talk anymore.
Yeah, well, that seems like a problem with you.
So how about, well, let's just not talk. Let's just do that. Like, Molly, you don't want to just do that where Leila doesn't snipe at you, you don't snipe at her, you guys just ignore each other. Seems like that's the best solution, right?
I'm ignoring her. Now let it go.
Well, I'm asking. Well, I just wanted like some confirmation, right? I just want to know if that's like what's going to happen.
I think you just got your confirmation there, Joe.
Well, no,
that absolutely was not a confirmation. No, I was ambiguous.
Look, this is just the name of the fucking game, right? If you're going to enter into a fucking conversation, you have to deal with the consequences, right? In every aspect, right? If somebody's sniping, guess what? You get called out. The room should come to a pause when people get sniped. I mean, that's my understanding. The room should come to a pause if somebody gets
every
sniped.
time Molly snipes at me, the room should come to a pause and they should address Molly.
It's not gonna work well for me.
No,
Yeah,
it should
she
just
snipes
be.
at me every
It
single
should
time I
just be.
talk.
It should just be that if somebody snipes, they should be called out on it and invited to enter into the conversation under that to defend whatever it is that they're sniping. That should just be the case. But when you say it's not
about me, I understand that it could be
for Leila either, because the bitch just fucking yips from the sideline. So I don't know why anybody's saying that. I don't know why anybody's saying that this is a slight on Molly and not also a slight on Leila.
Molly snipes at Sugar every time
I understand that could be
the. At me every time I talk.
And you snipe all the time.
The thing is, Michael, let me address the point that you made. Let me address the point, but I don't. Actually, I forgot it now.
Is Leila just objecting to her own behavior? Is that what's going on? because she's
Michael, this is
guilty
why
of
you're
all
so
the
mad
things
at
she's
me
accusing
for
Molly of.
sniping, right? But I'm
Yeah, and
saying
I'm
Molly
wondering
is
why
doing this
you're
behavior
objecting if
constantly, so I can't really be
accusing
So
her.
crazy.
so mad at
This is
me.
so.
Oh, the sniping
I'm
thing. That's what it
wondering
is. The
why
sniping
you're
thing.
accused. Yeah,
It's a
I'm
bad
wondering
idea to make it.
why.
I think it's a bad idea to actually make it something where you should stop the conversation every time somebody snipes. That's just going to be disrespectful, right? I snipe on conversations. I'm sniping.
Yeah, we would
We all
say
snipe.
that.
Like you snipe too, Mike. Like we all. I get that you're going to say, well, we would defend our.
Oh,
sniper.
wait.
I get you'll say that, but the
That's
thing is,
right.
I'm just saying I'm just saying it's a bad thing to say that we should always stop the conversation when somebody snipes.
Look,
That's just going to be a decision at the time in the conversation.
Nobody should be okay. That may be, but nobody should be sniping from the sidelines if they're not willing to join the conversation. And Leila is just all bark, no bite. She doesn't know how to reason.
I don't know what you're
She's
talking
a horrible
about sniping.
reason.
Like
I'm sorry.
I've done that too.
I'm sorry, it wasn't.
Well, yeah, let Michael finish.
Sorry,
Let Michael finish. Let Michael finish.
Leila can't fucking reason her way through a wet paper bag. She doesn't know the fucking theological and philosophical contents of these conversations, and yet she yells from the sidelines.
Yeah, but
I've sniped from noise from the sidelines
in conversations
sure,
where I don't know anything about.
Jovan, the difference is that you can fucking jump into a conversation about the logical problem of evil. You think Leila knows anything?
No. I'm saying I've sniped in conversations where I don't know shit about. Like when Ace has a conversation about physics with Cam, and Cam corrects him on something, I'll snipe at fucking Ace, right? But I don't fucking know shit about that.
We could grant everything.
But you can make. Sorry, Danny. Go ahead.
No, I was. It's fine. We could grant everything in terms of what Leila's doing. Everything that she's ignorant, not a good reasoner, snipes, all of the above. The conversation is that is the reaction proportional to Leila's offensive transgression? That's what's kind of weird here, right? It just seems kind of surreal.
And that's what I was getting at. That's why, like, I understand. That's why I sort of brought that up. Was like, look, a good portion of the people in this room, I don't mean this as any offense to anyone in here, can't reason their way out of a wet paper fucking bag. That is not a prerequisite for being in this room, and it's not a prerequisite for opening their mouth in the room. And I just don't get by what normative standard is anyone drawing from to say that it should be the case that the room stops and somehow now there should be something done about it.
Wait a minute. So wait a minute. When you say something like, is it like there's a standard by which is the reaction proportional to the offense? Right? Everybody here is going to have a different view of that because of their interactions with Leila, right? Like JJ is saying. So I don't understand, right. I just don't understand, what sort of objection that would be.
Well,
right?
let me explain it to you.
Well, hang on just a second. All I mean to say is that nobody here is privy to all of the interactions that, say, Cam or I have had with Leila, or JJ, or Tom, or Declan, or anybody else has had with Leila. We're not going to have some sort of exhaustive understanding of that. And presumably there's some fucking reason why Cam and I are objecting to Leila's yipping from the sideline.
Okay, can I respond?
Yeah, I'm sorry. That wasn't...
No, you're fine. You're fine. Look, me being flabbergasted over this is me wondering why you have such an aversion to that sort of behavior. And I don't mean this to sound insulting, but on one hand, I'm thinking, are we all adults here? Like that's sort of what I'm thinking here. And the only reason why is that it's just beyond me why that sort of behavior, like I said before, granted for the sake of argument, why that sort of behavior would warrant that. It's why I said it makes me believe that this is about something different. Like, I can't imagine. I know you, Michael. I've known you for a long time. Like, I can't imagine that you would be pissed off this much about something like that. Worst case scenario. Like, there are tons of people. Fucking Claire is constantly sniping at me from the sidelines. constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Claire also can't reason her way out of a wet paper bag, in my opinion, right? And I dislike Claire, but I sure as fuck. I mean, I wouldn't bring like this sort of hell down on her because of that.
Well,
No, I
so
don't think that.
don't take a left turn here because I please, guys, I don't want to like leave this topic. Right? Like I understand, I understand what you're saying, right? Like, but it's the same kind of attention that like I don't think it's proportional. But the reason why Darth gets so much attention is because of his mic time and the things that he does, right? Like there's conversation